he is also past now, but oh, I'm late on the brakes, and he comes back. Oh, and I kill a few traffic cones there. Welcome to what is already the penultimate round of our Le Mans Endurance Series 2005 in Automobilista 2. Today we'll see the final race in Europe in this series as we go racing at the 1000 kilometers of the Nürburgring. As always, for us it'll be the 200 kilometers of the Nürburgring as we do a fifth of the original race distance, but with time accelerated by 5. In theory, we could decide the championship here already in our favour, but as we're only 3 points ahead of Lehto's number 1 Audi in the championship, we need the Audis to have an afternoon as terrible as the one they had at Monza. But as the Nürburgring Grand Prix layout should suit the Audis much better than the high-speed circuits of Le Mans and Monza where they were struggling this season, this will be nearly impossible, and we rather need to take care to still retain an advantage going into the final round in 2 weeks' time at Road Atlanta. Looking at the starting grid, things are already looking quite challenging, with our main rival on pole and our second rival in P3. 8th for us on the grid puts us on the back foot, and while you're looking at the rest of the grid as it cycles through, let's talk a bit about the weather on this mid-September day here at the Nürburgring. We're not expecting rain, but also no temperatures above 20 degrees during the race with some heavy clouds. So, who copes best with these rather cool temperatures? We're about to find out. Well, and here we are then, making our way towards the start line as the green flag is out now. And we're racing at the Nürburgring, and we get a good run here already on Sohail Ayari just ahead of us in the Pescarolo into turn 1. This is always a bit of a challenging one. Into the Mercedes arena we go. This time, we have to say, unfortunately, this already existed in 2005. Yeah, I'm still a bit sad that we don't have the version 2002 in the game, because I much prefer that one over this. But we would have had to run on this circuit anyway, as for the first time we go down towards the Dunlop hairpin, which might be one of the better overtaking zones in this race. Overtaking is very much possible on this circuit, although maybe a bit harder because no very long straights, which always meant slam dunk passes against the Audis. Here we had a little look around the outside of, who was that? I think Alan McNeish. No, actually it's Tom Christensen, who is all the way down in 6th. Battling with our teammate Michael Krum, but I think now he made his way past. Teammate up in 6th. Good qualifying, and he even gained a position briefly there on Christensen. But now it is time, or at least I hope so, to switch positions. Into the Vidal chicane we go. He stays there for now. Oh, but has a little moment. Jinx to the left there. And we say thank you very much as we go into the final corner to finish the first lap. Once again, the buck in the top left. Again, we're counting completed laps, not the way it usually should work, the way the lap counter. So just that you don't get confused. As into turn 1, oh, we try to get past Christensen, but he fights back at the exit and shoves us out of the way, so he retains that position. Then, yeah, Mercedes-Benz Arena, I talked about this already, Mickey Mousey bit of that circuit, don't really like that. But we get a decent run here on him, but that left-hander here is not a heavy braking zone. So we have to let him stay ahead for the moment. Now Dunlop Kirado are not the greatest of exits. I tried to maximize it. Is there still a chance for us? Well, I have an ambitious dive. And I think that one worked, even if Probably have scared Tom Christensen out of the way there a bit, but a move is a move. And then once more we're getting a good run here on Stefano Telli into turn 1. Probably the track's best overtaking zone, especially in this configuration of the circuit. We just don't make it past Otelli. The Vidor chicane usually is also a good overtaking opportunity, or well, the chicane just ahead of the final corner. But not in this configuration of the circuit, as we're using the Vidor chicane. And that one doesn't promote overtaking as much as the Grand Prix chicane that Formula 1 uses when they came to this circuit. So we have to make do with turn 1, or well, ambitious moves into the Dunlop-Kehre, or the Vidor chicane still, as we try to find a way round the outside of Emmanuel Collard, lead Pescarolo. Not quite though. Alex Frey in the race lead with the courage. He is having a very strong second half of the season. He really turned it up from Le Mans onwards, where he finished second. And was only beaten by us, because we could pit later for a final pit stop. As we are getting a fantastic run here on Collard and Otelli as well. Is this 2 moves in 1? It looks like it. We fully add into the chicane. And now we're even close to JJ Lehto, our championship rival. We didn't have many battles on track. I don't recall any battle with him on track, actually. Here we go. Maybe this is also a very short one. As into turn 1 we try to brake past. He will have a better exit on the outside line. I think there was a brief contact with him there. I tried to squeeze him, but I run wide. A bit on the curve there, and I think he's still there and he has the inside. Can he close the door for the right hand? Once more there is contact. And we have to stay behind for the moment. But that was a proper battle. The only time I remember a sort of battle was Silverstone, penultimate lap, but I didn't have anything to fight against him on the wet tyres, so I wouldn't exactly call that one a battle. Oh, well hello, this is a run. Once more towards the Vidor chicane we go, and I think that is a move done and dusted. Once more, the Audis on the only proper longer flat out bit of this circuit. This is already enough to make them lose positions, and not being able to pass Alex Frey actually, who is much slower, but slower in places where he can afford it. Lehto had a look down our inside, but again, straight line speed, big Achilles heel there for the Audis. This battle here with Frey seems to go to him again. Yeah. I think once more we have to wait for the longer straight in the final sector. So, this is our spot. This will be a bit tougher because he has more straight line speed and power than the Audis. Towards the outside we let ourselves drift because that turns the inside for the Vidal chicane. Side by side we go through it. We tried to make a move into that corner and I think we have completed it. He might be able to come back down our inside into the final corner. No, he backs out of it, and that means after 5 laps, we are in the race lead, and I think that was some of the best racing I ever had on this circuit. And I really enjoyed that one. I don't mind the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit, but I didn't have the greatest of races there, to be honest. But this one felt really nice, and let's hope that Alex Frey can hold up the Audis for a bit longer, because they obviously can go quicker than him, but unfortunately for them, not in those spots on the circuit where you would usually overtake. So, they're losing time behind Frey, and we jump ahead to the end of lap 14, which is the first of 2 times that we will come in for fuel in this race. We already made it past the GT2 traffic and are in the middle of the GT1s. You saw the 2 Vipers ahead of us as we go into the pits, and I think this is the first indicator of where this race is going. Again, we expect the Audis to have a fuel advantage, and this is where they can bounce back. That was also what made us lose the race at Silverstone, because they had more options due to their better fuel mileage, and they could stick on a set of slicks for that last stint that for them was very short as well. And again, they will have the advantage of a shorter pit stop. But now we're out. We are behind all 4 of the Audis, behind I think Collard in the Pescarolo, who is still out, and 2 LMP2 cars who are just ahead of us as we're warming up our tyres now. And here we go, our favourite spot on the track. This is Mike Newton ahead of us, currently running 2nd in LMP2, despite being in the V8s, the very thirsty V8s, that have been on the back foot throughout this season in that class, but Newton's fighting back. He doesn't have to let us by, he's not a lap down. I have to work my way past, which I do now around the outside of the final corner, and then Freddy Lienhardt for the Automobilista Racing Lola V8. He is also past now, but oh, I'm late on the brakes, and he comes back. Oh, and I kill a few traffic cones there. And, well, I thought it would be easy work passing these LMP2s, but this turns out to be a much harder task than I expected. Once more, past Newton, we tried to go. We have the outside now, but we should have the quicker car. Yes, we're around. But what to do with the lean hat now? It costs us a bit of time there. This is all something that helps the Audis. We moved up to P5 because Collar's been in. And, yeah, now it's only the 4 Audis ahead of us as we dive down the inside of the Dunlop-Kehre, and we are past Lienhardt and back into P5 overall. We move forwards in time. 2 laps earlier, the Audis were in, so once more, they have a massive fuel advantage. And even if this looks like a relaxed race so far, it is not, because the Audis will be bouncing back late in this race. I can already tell you that right now, as, oh, we tried to make it past Mullen here, and, oh no, I spin the car around. This was me way too late on the brakes, thinking I would make it past that LMP2 to lap him. Over ambitious, and that cost us even more time. So, this is me in the pits once more. Tires are just being changed. Oh, and quick shout out here to Agabus04, who a couple of episodes ago asked why they don't change tires and fuel at the same time. It's just the rules with these cars and in this series that you can't do that simultaneously like you, for example, could do in Formula 1. It's just a rule. Yeah, so that is the reason why they don't. Okay, we jump ahead in time. Lap 32, the end of it. Still, the Audis ahead of us, and still they were not in, but I can tell you they are in right now, as we're getting close to lapping Paul Belmondo. This is not a car that we're racing, it's an LMP2 that is a lap down now. We move up to 4th, but that's it! That's it! We're only 4th, late on the brakes to make it past Belmondo. Look at that! These 3 cars there, these are the Audis, as once more I go wide out of turn 1. And we have the 3 ADT champion Audis, including our main championship rival, JJ Lehto, ahead of us. Currently, he's in 3rd, so he would be gaining 1 point on us, which makes 2 points difference going into the final race at Road Atlanta. And that could be an issue, because he has more race wins. So if he wins that one, as it stands right now at Road Atlanta, he would be champion. But a lot of things can still change. Especially, he's only 3rd. So if we make it past these 3 Audis, he would be down to 4th. And we would be gaining a lot of points on him. 5 to be exact. So, this is a very interesting situation that we find ourselves in right now. But for now, we have to catch up to the 3 Audis, which after all the pit stops have been completed, are ahead of us. But look at that, they're fighting amongst each other, which isn't smart. In theory, they should just let Lehto go and try to hold me up. But already, I'm making a move on Lehto for the final spot on the podium into turn 1. Usually this hasn't worked too well for us. He's still there. Once again, there is a bit of wheel banging, and Lehto, I'm afraid, stays ahead, but only for the moment. 33 laps completed. 6 more still to go. This took a bit longer to do the quick maths in my head there than I would like to admit. Well, here we go. Once more, another move on JJ Lehto down the inside of that quick left hand down the hill. He's still there. He has the inside for the next part of that corner. But we get the better exit, and we're fully past. We're fully past. He's dropping back. He is dropping back now. And of course they're fighting, because I think the other two, or at least Tom Christensen, is still in their championship fight as well in theory. And if I only finish 4th and he wins, well, he might be well back in it. So this is an issue for ADT Champion Racing. For them, it's at least a 2-horse race. Oh, lockup for someone. That was McNeish. McNeish has lost the race lead because he had a lockup there. And then we might also get the better exit once more. Look at this. Look at this. But we are on the outside. We're boxed in between Christensen and McNeish there. Oh, but we will have the inside line for the final corner. Is this it? This could give us a huge advantage in the championship if we make it past Christensen now as well, because we have passed McNeish. We get to run on him into turn 1. Lechto still 4th. Oh, Christensen is later on the brakes. He comes back round our outside again. Turn 1, not our place to overtake. But it's still 5 more laps as McNeish is trying to come back. And I think he is back. Yeah, Mercedes Arena. And turn 1. This is not my bit of tarmac. But from here on, this is where we've always been gaining. Down the hill towards the Dunlopkehre, but we are way back right now. Oh, and he has a terrible exit. Alan McNeish with a terrible exit out of there. We go past one Audi. Again, we get past the other of Tom Christensen, the record Le Mans winner. Stays in the race lead for now. At the final corner. What can we do here? Slipstream. This is looking much better. Because this time we can do the move much earlier on the pit straight. Can we defend? We block the outside that has been so successful for the Audis. He's still trying it. He's still there. But we cut right ahead of him. And that is us back into the race lead. And let's try to keep it. Christensen still not giving up that lead. But I think he has to right now. As here it's going straight. And this is what the Audis are just not good at. Down there towards the Dunlopkehre, some traffic ahead. Sun's getting lower, visibility difficult on parts of the track. Especially those towards Mühlenbach here. But I think we can now say that we are safely back into the race leads as we just pass that cycle Porsche. Difficult spot to come across him, but we made it work. I can tell you the Audis lost a bit of time in traffic. This is me starting the final lap of this race. Sun pretty low there into turn 1. Making this one even more of a challenge than it already has been for me. But I hit that apex, and now it is just finish that lap cleanly. I will have the opportunity in the Mercedes Arena, yeah, to have a look back. And they're still somewhat there, 4 seconds or something behind, I would say. But not close enough to challenge us. All I have to do is not make mistakes now. And there's still some bits of traffic to clear. We just passed Fabio Babini, and then there is Anthony Beltoise. Butch Leitzinger, all cleared without an issue. Through the Vidal chicane for the last time. And then only this corner here to go. And it's Advantage Dallara going into the final race of the season as we win the 1,000 kilometer race of the Nürburgring. Our second win of this season so far, the first one since Le Mans. And let's look at the race results, and indeed, JJ Lehto only finished 4th. The ADT champion Audis have stayed in order. Stefano Telli currently 3rd in the championship, only 5th. So, we will have a good advantage going into the final race of the season, but this is something to look out for later. Unfortunately, our teammate fell all the way down to P10 last in LMP1. Gareth Evans, the only LMP2 car that finished on the lead lap, and I can already tell you this is also crucial for the LMP2 championship, the way he won this race here today. And then once again, it's an Aston Martin 1-2. In GT1, Oliver Gavin for Corvette Racing Gary Pratt. Things have been going well for them lately, as it is another podium finish for them. The opposite has to be said for Lamborghini and the Vipers, because they have been tumbling down in the second part of the season. Mark Lieb wins in GT2 and is the Porsche 1-2 there, as Daryl O'Young finishes second. Fabio Babini only 5th in class, which is disappointing for his and Ferrari's championship ambitions in that class. And speaking of the championship, here are the current standings after the penultimate round of the season. We lead in LMP1, 8 points ahead of JJ Lehto, who is the only title rival that is still there. And these standings mean that as long as we finish 6th or higher at Road Atlanta, we will be fine and we will be champion. But we have finished lower than 6th this season so far, so this is definitely not over. And then, I already teased it, in LMP2 we already have a champion. Gareth Evans for Chamberlain Synergy Motorsport wins it. Paul Belmondo 20 points back, so he's very much out of that fight. But there is still an interesting battle for P2, as everybody from 2nd to 5th is within 4 points, and one of the V8s is actually in that fight for 2nd still, so Mike Newton with the chance to actually put someone to the V8 powered Lolas. In GT1, it will be a battle between the Aston Martins. It's Advantage Turner, 4 points ahead of Pedro Lamy. This will be difficult for Lamy, seeing as Aston Martin have finished 1-2, Sir Rolf and Darren Turner. 2nd place would be enough for him to clinch the championship. And then GT2, this was the closest fight once. It is not so close anymore, as Mark Lieb goes into the final race also with an 8-point advantage, just as we do, ahead of Fabio Babini, who had a disappointing race here today. Daryl O'Young and Butch Leitzinger, in theory, also still in the championship fight. Realistically, I think it's going to be Mark Lieb here. And that has been it with the 1,000 kilometer race at the Nürburgring in our Le Mans Endurance Series 2005 in Automobilista 2. Leave a like if you did enjoy this video. Next race, season finale at Road Atlanta. So subscribe to not miss that. Until then, goodbye.